your top 7 at 7 with Carly Barnett.
We are staying on top of a number of major stories for you tonight. Here's your top 7 at 7. A suspect is in custody after police say he went on a shooting spree in DeKalb County. Police have connected 26-year-old Alolukatan Abel to 3 separate shootings, 2 of those deadly. Nearly 5 months later, police in Loganville say they have their murder suspect. Evander Choates is accused of shooting and killing Kimberly Whaley outside of a CVS last November in broad daylight.
I have found this process really challenging and confusing.
DeKalb County parents are making their concerns known right now. They're asking school leaders about plans to potentially cut nearly 24 schools across the district. A new synthetic opioid is spreading across the southeast. Experts are warning cyclorphene can be stronger than fentanyl and harder to detect. So far, no deaths in Georgia have been linked to it. President Donald Trump is escalating tensions with Iran. After failed peace talks over the weekend, he has now ordered a U.S. Navy blockade of Iranian ports as gas prices stay high here in the United States. Jamison Mobley, the only survivor of a crash that killed her brother and 2 friends, is making what her family calls incredible strides. The 17-year-old is now off a ventilator and still has a long road to recovery. And heartbreak in Bartow County. The Cass High School community said goodbye to Joey Dean after he died unexpectedly. He was named the school's Teacher of the Year in 2021. That's your top 7 at 7. For more on all of these stories, download our free Atlanta News First app.